Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always my girlfriend Carol. How you doing, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
It is April 7th, 1995.
Can you believe we're in April already? This year is flying by.
Absolutely. Crazy, but it's been a good year so far, I have to say.
Yeah.
We had the OJ murdering last year. Maybe he did it.
OJ and Tanya Harding.
But we've got that's right, Tanya Harding was last year too.
Yeah.
We've got the trial, which I know I shouldn't be, but I am so addicted to this trial.
Yes, he is.
It's like somebody picked out and everybody that would be like a fantastic character. It's like someone scripted this trial. That's how good it is. Kato Kaelin? Seriously? Where did this guy come from? Oh my god. But and Rosa Lopez, Anyway, so OJ trial today. Article in the paper.
He got the paper again.
I got the paper.
He's all on it. He got me season 2 of Beverly Hills 90210, which
right.
I'm sure a lot of you already listened to. And
Yep.
And now the news.
But anyway, so apparently what's going to be the big thing in this case is DNA.
Okay.
Do we all know what DNA is?
Yeah.
I think Jurassic Park taught us.
Exactly.
Dinosaur DNA.
Exactly.
But anyway, so apparently they can take bits of blood or hair or whatever, because every part of your body has DNA in it, even your skin cells. Mm-hmm. And they can look at it, and then they can match it and say if, that came from you. Right. So obviously if his DNA is there at the crime scene, it would indicate he was at the crime scene. So,
but here's the thing, though. Hasn't he been there before?
Yeah, but, I mean, in the actual crimes, mixed in with the blood, their
right.
blood and stuff, And he was supposedly, apparently, I don't know. The story is so weird, but he had traveled to call a game or something like that for the NFL, and he was in a hotel when he found out, I guess. But supposedly, according to stuff Kato Kaelin saying and everything, he rushed and got on that plane he was almost late to his flight. So I don't know. There's
suspicious.
There's a lot of stuff there. But apparently the defense is going to argue that the collecting of the evidence was tainted and that it's no good, basically. But I have to imagine, I don't understand. I try to keep up on science as much as I can, and I don't understand how much of this works. I can't imagine that a lot of people in the jury are going to really fully grasp what DNA is and how police can use it. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird concept to think they don't have any fingerprints. There are no fingerprints. There's no murder weapon. There are no eyewitnesses. But the police are going to say, we can tell you definitively he was there.
Huh.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what happens with that.
But yeah, so they were talking about that. And then the other thing that, I only bring this up because it kind of has a local connection, the whole Jenny Jones murder thing. The guy that was on the Jenny Jones show, and he was like, oh, I'm in love with this dude, and and then the guy ends up killing him and everything.
It's so sad.
Yeah, so that's, they're having a candlelight vigil for him today. Obviously, the guy is, facing trial and everything. But I read that, and I was like, well, it's got a local connection, so I figured I'd at least mention it. But here's the thing that I think you'll love. We didn't think I'd say this again, but my so-called life finds a new life at MTV.
What?
MTV has decided to show every episode that they already aired of My So-Called Life, and they're talking about maybe bringing it to the like buying it and producing new episodes.
Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome.
So they're airing it. I guess they're gonna air all 19 episodes, 7 p.m. weeknights every Monday. And according to Joe Davola, who is one of the producers or whatever at MTV, he says everybody here loves the show, and we know our audience will love it.
Yeah.
He's a senior vice president of development. That's what he is. MTV puts its stamp of approval on music and movies. So, like with our Buzz Life marathon, as well as on-air appearances by various cast members, including the show's 16-year-old star Claire Danes.
Yay.
So it's gonna. So their agreement is unique. They say they're going to show the reruns, and then, like I said, they're talking about like purchasing it to bring more episodes.
I really hope they do. That would be so awesome.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm hoping that's got to be the audience. The MTV audience has got to be the audience for it.
Yeah.
Because it's us. It's our age group. Mm-hmm. It's young people. That's who's going to care about it. I never really thought that it was a great fit at ABC anyway.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Might have worked better on Fox.
Yeah.
Because that's more of a young person network, too.
Maybe.
But the future. Carol, are you interested in the future?
I am very interested in the future.
So there is a documentary on the Discovery Channel called Cyberspace. And it's like, so this article begins. Mark Gettner wrote this article, just to give him some credit.
Okay.
But he says, how big is the coming digital revolution with all that, email stuff and everything?
Uh-huh.
And apparently, according to author Nicholas Negroponte, it's a 10.5 on the Richter scale. It's bigger, in my opinion, than the invention of the printing press.
Wow.
That seems a little out there to me, but...
Yeah, I mean, how can anything be bigger than the ability to print words?
Right. But so this documentary basically talks about the internet, cyberspace, the World Wide Web, all that stuff, and kind of the implications of it, all this information sharing and stuff like that. So yeah, it seemed pretty interesting to me. What do you think? Do you think how big do you think the internet could possibly get?
Well, I mean, it definitely has, application. I mean, it's kind of cool to be able to hop on and talk to like somebody across the country or even across the world.
Yeah.
I think over time we'll probably find a lot more ways to use it than just, like what we do now, chatting on AOL and stuff. But I
mean, maybe. I like play. There's games that you can play on there where like someone will be like, I'm gonna, I'll start writing lyrics to an 80s song.
Yeah.
And then the first person to guess it, gets to they get to go.
Or there was a website I went to where I could get free tarot card readings. That was kind of fun.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
There's a place on there where you can buy books. Yeah, you can get books shipped to you. I talked about it before.
Yeah.
It's the river one.
Yeah.
Amazon. So you could get books from there. Sometimes,
can you imagine if like someday we could just get like anything shipped to us? Not just books, but like say you wanted like a new pair of jeans, but like then why would you?
Yeah,
you want to try them on?
You want to try them on, right?
Yeah.
The books I can kind of see because sure, if it's something you're not familiar with, then then obviously you go to the bookstore, go to Barnes and Noble or B. Dalton's,
yeah,
and take a look, or Borders, like Borders. Borders is probably my favorite one, but if you want to browse around and do that, but sometimes, because I'm a big Stephen King fan, sometimes there will be an edition of a Stephen King book, whether it's paperback or hardcover, that they don't really carry. It's a little more rare, or it's an older book, so people aren't really buying it that much. And since I know the title and the author, I can just go to that Amazon and I can order that, and they'll send it to me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's a little, you got to pay for shipping, which sucks. But if they had a thing where you never had to pay for shipping,
Right.
and they were just making money by how many people.
How
ordering
lazy
stuff.
would people have to be, though, really? I mean, to just, like, you never have to pay shipping, so you can just order everything, so you never have to go to the store. Like, I love going to the mall.
Yeah, that's true.
I love going to the mall. It's, like, my favorite thing.
Plus, you go to the movie theater, you go out, at the mall, you go out to eat, you can go to the cookie stand and get a pretzel or something like that, talk with your friends, meet some new people there. I meet people at the mall all the time.
Do you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, just for people that are like, hey, hey, what's up?
Like some girls?
No, that doesn't happen. Come on.
Right, Sure. I see the girls looking at you. I know what's happening.
Okay.
I know what's up.
Yeah, I feel like one of the new kids on the block when I go into a mall. Anyway, so last bit of news I have for this week. It's a heavy news week this week. The new TV show News Radio with Phil Hartman. He gives this interview basically where, and I can kind of see this. So I don't know how many of you have seen News Radio. I think it's very funny. I like Dave Foley a lot from Kids in the Hall, and he's in it. And I like Phil Hartman from Saturday Night Live, and he's in it. And then a bunch of people I don't know, kind of newer people. But he says that they very clearly pivoted away from his character being a Ted Knight type character. Now, I don't know. You're looking at me confused, and I'm sure a lot of our audience doesn't know who Ted Knight is. Ted Knight was the character played by... I can't think of his real name now off the top of my head, but he was in Caddyshack as well.
Okay.
Great. Actually, Ted Knight's his real name.
Okay.
So Ted Knight was the actor that played Ted Baxter on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And he was this so his whole thing was he was a moron, but he had a good voice and a good look, so he was the anchor of the news. Like the one that was supposed to have all the answers that everyone trusted, but it was only based on appearances and outside, which is what we saw, because it was a newsroom, that was the setting of the show. He was a moron. So he was the guy that'd be like, Lou, that's how he talked. Hey, Mary, But anyway, so they said that they clearly wanted to pivot away from that. They didn't want to make his character, a dummy. They didn't want to make him just because he's a radio personality, and Phil Hartman's got a good voice and everything. And I could see how those comparisons would be made. So both Phil Hartman and the producer were very, and they talk about this in this interview. They were very, very cognizant to steer away from that and make his character a lot different than that.
Okay.
So I can see kind of how it could be considered a similar type show too, because the Mary Tyler Moore Show was a television news studio. Mary was one of the producers. Lou was the main producer and editor or whatever, and then you got Murray doing being the writer and other people on the show, but. I can kind of see that dynamic on this too, even though it's not TV, it's radio.
Right.
But, yeah, so they don't want to be compared to Mary Tyler Moore Show, one of the greatest sitcoms ever.
Seems kind of stupid, but okay.
No, I mean, I wouldn't. I think they've had 2 episodes so far. I probably wouldn't start comparing myself to one of the best shows ever either. Right. I'd be like, oh, well, look, give us time. We'll be our own thing,
Yeah.
But I think with Dave Foley, I think with Phil Hartman, I think they're in good hands. I think it's going to be real good. Speaking of real good, though, we watched a TV show that wasn't that really good.
I thought you really liked it.
I liked this episode. There's stuff that I didn't like about this episode, but you didn't like this episode that much.
Yeah, not that much, no.
So I've got a question for you, Carol. Do you want to talk about the movie, or do you want to talk about the TV show?
Well, I think I want to talk about both of them.
But I mean, do you want to drive the show on the movie or the TV show?
You pick. I don't care.
Well, all right. You can You can do the movie then. I'll do the
Okay.
TV show. So we watched The Critic. Jay Sherman, a.k.a. John Lovitz. Good friend of Phil Hartman, actually.
Huh. Didn't know that.
It stinks. I like the show a lot. Mm-hmm. I like John Lovitz a lot.
I like the show usually.
But this episode was Jay falls through the floor because he's too fat. So his boss sends him and his son to a fat camp.
Why is his boss sending his son?
Well, the boss is sending Jay, but then there's also, coincidentally, the president physical fitness test is happening at the same time.
Right.
And Marty can't pass any of the things. He can't do a pull-up. He can't do one sit-up, even though the kid from Easter Island can.
Which is ridiculous.
The giant-headed kid. And, yeah, he's got to have strong abs to be able to pull himself up.
You know, I can't do much when it comes to the presidential fitness test, but I could at least do a sit-up. That's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, it is pathetic. So he decides to go with his dad to the fat camp. They go to the fat camp. Jay doesn't do anything. He loses 2 pounds. So he considers that a victory. Marty, I don't know how long they've been gone. A year? I don't know. But he's all of a sudden a stud.
Right.
Like, he's thin and handsome, and all the girls love him and everything.
Yeah, they're all like staring at him like, he's so dreamy.
They do a parody of that Diet Coke commercial. It's like, oh, it's 5 o'clock or 2 o'clock or whatever. And all the women in the office go to the window and the guy takes his shirt off and drinks a Coke. What I want to know is that every day at that time, that guy takes his shirt off every time he drinks a Diet
Weird.
Coke. Like,
Yeah.
that guy, I think he has mental problems.
Right.
The guy in that commercial.
Some kind of weird OCD that requires taking off his clothing.
I have to take my shirt off now. I'm on a busy street in New York City. Anyway, so he gets in the part in the play of Peter Pan without auditioning at all. He just stumbles upon the stage, and the director's like, "Oh, there's our Peter Pan right there," which I guess is sort of how Hollywood works.
Well, it's how high school works.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, at the same time, Jay, he reviews this movie. It's obviously like a Jean-Claude Van Damme type thing. And he's like, oh, this guy is the worst actor in the world, and he's terrible. And this guy's like, I'm going to get you, Sherman. So, he's trying to kill him. And so Jay hires a posse with, for some reason, Mr. T, and then a bunch of people that are unrecognizable as, like his bodyguards.
Uh-huh.
You saw the show, right?
I did.
You're just like, uh-huh. Then what happened? So fascinated. You're on the edge of your seat.
Shut up. I'm just listening. You're driving.
Okay. Well, you can contribute. Just because I'm driving. Oh, you're gonna bite your lip and shake your head at me.
Why do you do this to me?
Why? What?
Like, do you just like get off on making me sound bad in our show?
I don't know. Why don't you? You're the expert on what I get off on. Why don't you tell me?
Okay, no reason to be crude.
Raphael is crude but rude. Give me a break. I was just gonna say give me a break when you said no reason to be crude, but then I was like, no one's gonna get that. No one's gonna get that reference I made in my head.
Yeah.
So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, all the bodyguards leave for their own Fox sitcom for some reason, and he's left with one guy who turns out to be the dude in a mask, Jean-Claude Van Damme or whatever, in a mask.
Okay.
And why are you look confused? You saw the show.
Did I?
I don't know. So anyway, he pulls a gun on him, and Jay's like, don't kill me. Oh my God, don't kill me. I have so much to live for. And he's like, you think I'm going to kill you? Then I must be a great actor. Ah.
Yeah.
And that was it. No, I mean that was that. I'm not saying that was it of the show. That was that part of it. So then,
It was dumb.
yes, it was dumb.
It was like really dumb.
So Marty wants to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, hello, who hasn't been on a diet? Of course he wants to eat. I mean,
And nobody's giving him healthy options. Nobody's like, hey, why don't you have some vegetables? Why don't you eat some fruit?
yeah, he's just like, I'm just hungry.
Right? They're just starving him. Why don't you have some egg whites? It's good protein for you.
So he does what we have all done when on a crash diet.
He, this old chestnut. Who hasn't this happened to? Where you're walking down the street and you hear someone loudly scream from an ice cream place, "Oh my God, the freezer's broken. All the ice cream's going to melt." That old chestnut. So he goes in and eats all the ice cream and is suddenly fat again.
Yeah.
This kid, I mean, I'll tell you what, this kid went up and down more than Karen Carpenter. It's like more rapidly. It's a ridiculous.
It is.
But he, and I, it's made me so sad. Like, just let him be thin. Why do you have to make him fat again?
Because he was hungry.
But he was sad. Like, why did you have to write it that way?
I don't know.
Anyway.
But I haven't eaten out an entire ice cream store.
Oh, really? That's never happened to you?
No.
It's such a common occurrence.
I mean, like I'll go like all day without eating, and then like I'll eat like an entire pizza or something ridiculous that makes it like not worth it.
Well, yeah, that's why those fad diets are bad.
Yes.
That's why the starve yourself diet or like 800 calorie a day
The
diet.
cabbage soup diet.
That's why they're all bad.
I mean, you lose weight though. It's just you gain it right back.
Yeah, you lose water weight, you lose glycogen, your glycogen stores, and there's stuff that you lose that, and you lose some fat as well, but it's really easy to gain it back, and it's not sustainable. Sure, you could lose weight by just fasting, by not eating,
Right.
but that's not sustainable.
For sure.
Eventually you're gonna have to eat, and no one can stay on that big of a caloric deficit.
Right.
So, there are 3 macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates. What are you looking at me like that for? Protein, carbohydrates, and what's the other one I can't think of?
Fat?
Yes. And you need all 3 of them.
Yep.
You just need them in a good balance. So, yeah, ridiculous, those fad diets. And you're going to end up eating an entire store of ice cream like we've all done. and gaining it all back.
I'd love to.
Oh, it'd make me sick.
Well, an entire store of ice cream, sure, but like
and there's
one tub?
There's flavors I wouldn't like. An entire tub? Like one of those tubs that they have at like Baskin Robbins and stuff? An entire tub?
Yeah, I guess that might be a little too much.
Ooh, that's too much ice cream.
Yeah,
for me.
that's a stomach ache.
Yeah. Now, an entire like Ben and Jerry's carton, yes. A pint or whatever that is, I could polish that up easily. Yeah.
That's not a challenge.
But anyway, so that's it.
That was The Critic. It was not as good as
It did have. It's not as good as it usually is.
no, as Slider. I was waiting for you to go Sliders.
Why would you think that I would know? Like, you didn't mention that at all.
Because
you
we
didn't
did it
make
the
the
last 2
international
weeks.
sign of Jerry O'Connell, which is the comb from Stand by Me.
Sliders.
Sliders.
Oh my gosh!
What?
He was in Stand by Me. He
was the fat
dude?
kid.
Like,
He's the fat kid
like
in
it's
Stand
all
by Me.
clicking in my head right now. That
Yes.
didn't click in my head before.
That's right. He lost his jar of pennies. But yeah, it wasn't that good. But it did have a really funny joke. I thought it was a funny joke in it, which was
I thought it was a terrible joke.
you did.
Go tell the joke.
So he said, it's the new movie coming out. They always do parodies and stuff like that. It's like the new movie coming out, The Cockroach King with Howard Stern, and it's all these alligators and rats and bugs and cockroaches and stuff.
Which was gross.
Vaguely African music. They used real African music in that movie, so it's a little bit of a slap in the face. They're just doing like generic ba ba da ba.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so you see it like so I don't even remember what it was holding him up, but holding up the cockroach, and it's the big nose because it's Howard Stern. And he's got
Right,
those
with
purple
the long hair
and the purple glasses.
glasses.
He's like, "That's right, I'm your king." And then he turns to a grasshopper or something and goes, "Hey, baby, show me your thorax." And she just she just giggles.
It's gross.
It's funny.
I mean, there's too many gross things, and Howard Stern's kind of gross, so
I know you're not a big fan of Howard Stern.
not at all. I think that he is a sexist prick.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
All right, well, it's thrown. What about Robin?
What?
What about Robin? Do you like Robin?
Who's Robin?
Robin's his producer.
Oh, I don't know.
She does the news and stuff.
I don't know. I haven't really paid attention to Robin.
Her dad molested her.
What the fuck?
They've talked about it before on here.
How do you just like throw that out there on the radio? Like, hey, everybody.
He's crazy. He talks about some crazy stuff.
I'm sure he handled it with all kinds of tact and sensitivity.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
All the tact and sensitivity of Ian Ziering.
Right?
All right, but that was The Critic. It's been better, but it's still a quality show.
It's a good show. That was not my favorite episode.
So, the movie we watched.
So we went.
Your turn.
Yeah, we went to see. You're gonna like get revenge on me now, right? You're gonna be all quiet and stuff.
I should just say
please don't.
nothing.
Don't do that to me. But we went to see Bad Boys with Will Smith
Couple of bad boys.
and Martin Lawrence.
Joey Lawrence, actually.
No.
Whoa.
And Tay Leone.
Téa Leoni.
Téa Leone. Okay.
Téa Leoni, yeah. This movie was directed by
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. A name I had to like go to the encyclopedia to look up. No, I went to the trades actually. That's an inside term for the trade papers. The Variety and stuff like that. But Jerry Bruckheimer produced this. He's a pretty big producer of action type movies, and I guess Michael Bay's been working with him a little bit. But you know how this dude got his start?
Huh?
You know how this guy that directed this
How?
It's the number one movie in America right now. And you know how this fucking guy got his first movie he's ever directed?
How did this fucking guy
No, I
get
gotta
his
start. Do you remember that commercial where we pan around this guy's room and he's got all this Aaron Burr memorabilia and like Alexander Hamilton and stuff like that, and you hear the radio going and it's like, it's history talk, and stuff like that. We're giving away whatever it is, $10,000 something like that, and this guy's making himself a big thick peanut butter sandwich, and he puts the peanut butter sandwich together. He takes a big bite and he sits down and everything, and a fifth caller to answer this question: who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? And the guy's like got a shrine to this whole thing.
I do.
And he's like, so it connects to me. He's like, you're caller 5. And he's like, who was it? And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. And he picks up his glass. It's empty. And it's like, got milk.
Yeah.
He directed that commercial.
Okay.
And off the back of that, got a job with Jerry Bruckheimer, and now he's directed the number one movie in America.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So
Not a great movie, though.
no, not a great movie. I mean, it was enjoyable.
As far as like, okay, so as like schlocky, mindless action goes, it's on the better end. Like, it's on the upper end of the scale of mindless, schlocky action.
See, you don't like action movies that much? Like,
I like intelligent action. Like, I like Die Hard. I like action movies that tell me a story. Mm-hmm. I always equate action to description in a book. When description's happening in a book, nothing is happening. Uh-huh. You're getting, it gives you a flavor, it gives you a sense of what's going on, it gives you a sense of place and time and stuff like that. But nothing's advancing with the plot. Nothing's going on in the book when description's happening. Right. When action's happening in a movie, nothing's going on in the movie. You know what I mean? Like the plot is not. It's a hard connection for people to make because things are happening, things are exploding, people are shooting and stuff like that. But the plot is not advancing.
Yeah.
It's filler. It's spectacle, and that's it. Now, there are movies and there are books that can weave description into the narrative, and you're only pausing for a minute, and stuff's advancing in the plot. And there are movies where action is woven into the plot very, very tightly, and then it works a lot better than when the movie just stops and let's watch this pyrotechnics display.
Right.
And then we'll advance the plot a little bit, and now we're going to stop again and watch another pyrotechnics display. Those are the kind of movies, the action movies, that I really don't like. But, Die Hard and
Speed.
Speed was pretty good. Speed definitely wove the action in with the plot and everything. So, yeah, movies like that, they work for me, but... other kind of action movies don't necessarily work for me.
I get what you're saying, though. It is kind of like choppy like that, where there's story, which is interesting to me. And then the action happens, and I don't know about you, but that's when my mind kind of starts to wander.
Well, it depends on how much I care about the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I hate to keep coming back to Die Hard, but like one of the things that I think what worked so well about Die Hard is, especially in the era that movie came out in, 88, 88, I think is when that movie came out, 87, 88. That's the era of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that's the era of Sylvester Stallone. I mean, obviously they're still big stars today, but that's like when they were first coming on the scene as big action stars. So these giant, indestructible dudes. And then you get Bruce Willis, you cast Bruce Willis, small guy, looks like a regular dude. He's not hugely jacked or anything like that. And he's vulnerable throughout the whole movie. He's got to take his shoes off. He runs across the glass. His feet get all cut up.
I've never seen this movie.
Oh, really? It's a great movie. So you get a sense of this guy could get hurt. This guy could die.
Okay.
And you never, in movies like where Schwarzenegger was in and stuff, you never get that sense.
No.
Like this guy is in trouble.
For sure.
It's more like this guy could, lift the tank and just throw it. And this movie suffers a little bit from that too. I think they try to go more like these guys are vulnerable, but especially Will Smith's character seems very, very much untouchable.
Yeah, his character does. I think Martin Lawrence's character does not.
Yeah, I could.
Which is funny because at the end of the movie, who's all shot up and ready to die?
Oh yeah,
Will Smith.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, okay. This movie starts out with there's a break-in, and it turns out they're breaking into the police headquarters. Correct. Or whatever.
Well, one of the precincts.
Some kind of police building, and we don't know what they're stealing until the next day when we're meeting our main characters and they're coming into work. We find out that they have stolen. What was it, like $100,000 worth of heroin?
$100 million.
$100 million worth of heroin.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of insane. I don't. Well,
heroin's pretty expensive,
but I don't think they would have that much of it.
Well, apparently, it's kind of a throwaway line, but apparently, this was like the biggest bust of their career,
right?
Of the Bad Boys' career, is that they stopped whatever cartel was shipping this heroin. And it's like, the biggest amount of heroin anyone's ever confiscated or something like that. So it's a ton of heroin.
And there was a design flaw where they put in a big ventilation pipe that was apparently used to break in. And that seems like that wouldn't really happen.
Really stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's like big enough for a body, like the kind of chimney you want for Santa.
Right. Yeah, it's like whoever designed the Death Star designed
Right.
They're like, okay, so we need a giant chute going right to the heart of the thing, right? Because that's in every building I build.
Right. So you've got Martin Lawrence's character, Will Smith's character, they're partners. I can't remember their characters' names. I'm so bad with names.
Mike Lowry is Will Smith.
Right, okay.
And Marcus something is Martin Lawrence.
Okay. So Mike and Martin.
Yeah.
So Mike is the
No, Mike and Marcus.
Mike and Marcus.
Martin is his real
Right.
name.
So Mike is the like bachelor.
Operator.
Yeah, he's the bachelor. He's rich,
Right.
like independently wealthy, but decided to be a police officer.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And apparently, like he's just like a ladies' man, whatever.
And pretty egotistical because
Oh my goodness,
he has
yeah.
pictures of himself all over his apartment.
And then you've got Marcus, who is married with 3 children, and he's trying to have sex with his wife in the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a joke through the whole movie that he can't get laid,
Yeah, they don't develop this in any way.
and he doesn't ever get laid.
No.
That doesn't pay off in any way. It's not like we're like, okay, good.
It doesn't even seem like his wife likes him that much.
No, she actually does seem like she likes Mike better.
Yeah, she does.
So there's this weird thing. Okay, these 2 prostitutes, are they prostitutes?
So, okay. Mike knows this one hooker for some reason. I don't know.
I imagine the reason.
Right. But he says they're looking for clues on who could have stolen this heroin and everything. So he says, hey, somebody's come into a lot of money recently, and they might be looking to party. So let me know. Let me know if anything happens, because they're tight, you know. And she says, okay, you know, I will. And they get a call, you know, so that there's a party or whatever. Like, hey, this guy wants to party and stuff like that. He's got a bunch of money. It must be new money or something like that. The woman that runs the prostitute agency, who, by the way, is just sitting on a bed with a regular phone. Like, it's like, it looks like a teenage girl. Just
Right.
like, oh, I have my hookers over there right away.
Right.
But she ropes Téa Leoni into going with her, who apparently isn't a prostitute but needs the money. I
Yeah,
guess.
very weird.
Yeah, they're just. She's like, we're just gonna dance like 10 minutes or something like that, and we'll leave.
She says he'll be so coked up he won't be able to get it up.
Right? Yeah. Which would that comfort you? Would you be like, okay, sweet, I'll do it
No?
on your word that he won't be able to get it up? Probably.
And I mean, like, the fact that he's super coked up could actually work against them. And yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, and this hooker, though, is like super in love with this cop.
And she goes on and on about him to Téa Leoni.
He's the only one I'd ever call if I was in trouble.
Hey, just in case any one of us gets killed and shot,
Right.
Mike Lowry is his name, and he works at this police station. So, in case you ever, need him, like, let's say you witnessed a murder and we're on the run,
Yeah.
call Mike Lowry.
Yeah, it is pretty much that bad. And so guess what? She witnesses the murder, Téa Leoni,
Yeah.
of her friend, who is the one that he asked to, keep a eye out for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
Sad.
don't think that puts any onus on him because I mean, she would have done it anyway.
I
Don't
would,
you?
yeah, I would think so, probably. But I'm sure he still feels guilty.
She should have called him.
It never comes up.
Yeah.
He at one point he's just like, yeah, trust me, we want to get him or whatever, and that's it. But it never comes up like, I'm upset about this.
Well, Marcus. Okay, she calls the police station after she gets away from these guys, and she says that she will only speak to
Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry. So Mike Lowry's not there. He is out getting, beat up and getting a concussion.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, I'll take care of this. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Goes off on his own.
Right.
So Marcus is there, and they get him to pretend that he is him. So
Joey Pants tells him to pretend he's Mike Lowry.
So he's pretending to be him. He goes to meet her at her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my mind just skipped. I was getting to a point. Though. There was a thing I was working up to, and I was like, wait, I gotta go back. And now I don't remember. Sounds
like sex now.
Shut up. Okay, anyways, he goes and he's pretending, and she's like, she attacks him with a baseball bat because she's like, you don't look like him, because apparently this lady talked about him so much she had a good mental image of what he would look like. Which
He's the kind of guy who looks like he has a big dick. And she saw Martin Lawrence and she was like, that's not him.
bad guys are coming for her. They shoot up her apartment. They get away. He has to take her now because she refuses to go into witness protection
Yeah.
because the guy with the money was a police officer.
Yes.
An
he was.
ex-police officer.
Right.
So she's like, oh no, if I go to the police, I'm going to get, hurt. You're the only one who can help me. So she says, I'll go home with you. That's my witness protection, which is dumb.
Agreed.
And no one would really do that.
I can't imagine, no.
And then he manages to pull up mugshots on a computer for her at home.
Yeah, that's also weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he takes it back to Mike's place and is like continuing the lie that he's Mike. And he's like, I'm going to show you mugshots till you tell me who it is, then we'll go get him.
This goes on through the whole movie that he is pretending to be Mike. Mike ends up having to go stay with his family, which that doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, why does he need to stay with his family?
Yeah.
He's independently wealthy. Get a hotel room for a week.
Well, and like, not only could he do that, but it's like, why, like, the lie they told his wife, which, why doesn't he just tell her he's undercover or something? Mm-hmm. I don't understand that. But the lie they tell his wife is that he's out of town.
Yeah.
So why does him going out of town mean that Mike has to come stay in his house?
Well, I think, so they saw his license plate when he was fleeing from Taya Leone's house.
Okay.
With Taya Leone. And he mentions that a couple times. They might have seen my license plate number. I don't know how they have the ability to run a license plate, but
Well, the cop
whatever.
guy was,
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Let's just say they can, right? So my first thought would be, why don't you get your family out of the house?
right?
But they never do that. And I think Mike goes there because it's like, basically he's using his family as bait then. He's like, maybe they'll come here and try to get me. So Mike's got to be with them. It's the only thing I can think of.
I don't think he's using them as bait, but they never spell it out. They never explain why they're doing things the way they're doing them.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in here that don't make logical sense.
And at one point, the people are across the street from his house.
Just like watching.
And they don't do anything.
No, they're just sitting there watching.
So it's like, that didn't make any sense.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not a great movie.
So, yeah,
Tay Leone,
yeah.
throughout the movie, it's kind of obvious that she's figured out that they're pretending.
Yeah, she tries to
That
seduce.
they've like switched places.
She tries to just seduce Marcus.
Yeah. And then she like talks about how she's sure a guy like Will Smith, over there, would be, getting it on with his wife right now.
Matt. His name is Matt.
Whatever. Matt. It's not Matt. Mike.
See, you don't know what it is, but I say the wrong name and then you come up with the right name.
Anyway, he drags her in his car, handcuffs her
To the steering wheel.
to the steering wheel,
Like an idiot.
and then runs in and starts trying to like spy on his wife and
Mike Lowry.
yeah. And he ends up falling instead, making a big ruckus, getting caught, and this whole time the bad guys are watching and they don't do a damn thing.
And the other two guys in the movie, the other two police officers that we have met, they get them. They get the bad guys. They go up to the side of the car and they're like, yeah, you're ours now, you pieces of shit. Don't mess with a cop's family.
Yeah.
And then they interrogate them and figure out more stuff. More of the plot.
And it's,
Apparently that's the only reason they were there.
Yeah.
Is to give the police information when they were caught. Because they didn't do shit.
right. There's a scene where they go to a nightclub,
Yeah.
which
Hell. The
yeah.
name of the nightclub is Hell.
Yeah, and it's a really weird setup. Like it seems like it might be cool, but I don't know. It
Well, the
seems
men's
dangerous.
bathroom looks out onto the main floor through an aquarium. So
Yeah, which is
that's a
weird.
weird setup.
And there's candles everywhere, including in the men's bathroom.
Yeah. Who's keeping those candles lit?
And I'm sorry, but there's so many people packed in. Like, how are you keeping them from catching fire?
How's that not a fire hazard?
Exactly. Yeah, the whole
This place
thing's
would have
weird.
been shot down.
And Tay Leone, just like freaking like busts out and goes to the club, even though they told her to stay home. She's supposed to be being protected, but she follows them around. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
She steals a gun. Well, she steals a gun because she's going to shoot the guy.
Yeah.
She sees the guy up in like a balcony.
The bad guy who shot her friend.
Behind glass, and she aims and tries to shoot him.
Yeah.
Like that gun is going to go that distance and kill someone through glass at that range.
And Will Smith sees her and stops her. And what I'm really bothered by is he knocks her arm so she doesn't hit her target, but she does fire.
Yeah.
And there's so many people around. Like, how do we know nobody got hurt? They never follow up on it.
Yeah. There's a crowd of people there, and I guarantee you she murdered somebody. Somebody's dead in that club.
He should have just let her shoot the bad guy.
But they go on a chase, another action scene. They blow up some ether. Eventually, they find out that the secretary is being blackmailed by them.
At the police department.
Yeah, so she's the mole, and because someone's giving them information from the inside, and all that shit. So then Taylor gets kidnapped because Marcus's wife shows up, figures out that he's still in town.
The whole thing's so dumb because the kids see him on TV.
Yeah.
He should just be. I don't know why there's so much lying. So much lying.
Well, he even said he got married, so he didn't have to lie anymore.
But he lies all the time.
Yeah. Well, he had to for his job.
I guess.
But then they shoot out and everything, and then the bad guy, he's like, I'm not going to kill you. Will Smith's like, I'm not going to kill you. It's not worth it. You're a loser. And then he pulls a gun, like he's going to kill Marcus, and then he turns around and shoots him. It's like, oh, and you're dead now.
Yeah.
And then that's basically the end of the movie.
I think that Will Smith's character and Tay Leone's character should hook up.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care enough about any of their characters to care what happens to them after this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it really was kind of a waste.
One of the things that I really hated was the movie has some funny lines, but they try to be funny a lot, and they fail a lot of the time. And one of the biggest failures to me is Martin Lawrence, and there are so many lines of Martin Lawrence like talking to his wife, just being like, but you don't understand, I just did, yeah. It's like basically like Michael Bay, the director, is like says to Martin Lawrence, hey, talk for 10 minutes but never finish a sentence.
Right.
That's how I want you to play this scene. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, because there's always that thing. It's like all he has to do is explain it. Like, just say like 5 words to her. I'm undercover. Mm-hmm. She's a material witness. Her life's in danger. Anything like that.
The one time he says she's a material witness, that's like what tips her over the edge. If she's like, oh, forget it, and walks away from him. Like she thinks he's lying.
Yeah, and we don't get any, like, if there was a history, like, at the beginning where she was, like, used to be a dog, used to cheat on me or something like that all the time, now you're domestic or whatever, right? Or he was, like, used to be some ladies' man. If we got any sense of that or any word that was the case, then maybe the way she acted might make some sense, but we don't. There is no indication of that at all. So it just seems like she is a psychopath.
Yeah, all we get is like them arguing and not having sex.
Yeah.
It just seems like they have a bad marriage.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be the joke. Well, that's marriage, whatever. But yeah, I didn't like it. There was a lot of, like I said, it's not my type of action because it's just stop and watch this.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on and then stop and watch this. So it's not really my type of thing. But also, it's just not that funny.
It was, I don't know. It's kind of fun to me, though, to see Will Smith on the big screen. And, because we see him in, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
Will Smith is very good. Will Smith's very charismatic. He's a charming person, and he's an actor, and he's good in this. But... he could do something better.
Yeah, for sure. It was just not the best movie.
If they want to have him in an action movie, he should be something besides a cop. Maybe military. That could work.
Maybe.
I could see that. He's got the haircut for it.
A little bit.
But yeah, that's Bad Boys. A couple of bad boys there.
Yeah, they play the song a couple times, like they're just trying to force the joke.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
They sing it badly too.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. So because it's their cops,
Right.
and they're like, "Oh, we're bad boys."
Well, I mean, the song is Bad
from
Boys.
cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But I always kind of thought it was the bad boys were coming for the cops, but I guess it's the cops are coming for the bad boys.
Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Yeah, see, I think they is the cops. I think it's a song to the bad boys.
Right, but they're like, we're the bad boys in this
Right.
movie, which is not the way that it was supposed to
Yeah,
be.
I think it's kind of like bad boys. What you gonna do when they
Come for
over
you.
there?
Yeah, that makes sense.
The cops come for you. You're fucked.
Yeah.
I think it's a scolding song.
Does not work when
One
the
of the-
cops are singing it.
One of the most successful scolding songs in history. It's right up there with Nana Nana Boo Boo. Yeah, but that's Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Say it once. Just say it fun once, like I did.
No.
Come on, Bad Boys.
No.
Oh, you're no fun.
I'll say it sexy. Bad boys.
Okay. Well, we will end this episode as we end every episode with our blockbuster pick of the week. Carol, what do you want me to say?
What?
I forgot.
You researched like on your little pieces of paper what you were gonna
Pieces of paper. You mean the things that you get at Blockbuster?
and you told me and I should remember, but I don't.
Blue Sky.
There you go.
The Tommy Lee Jones, Jessica Lang joint.
What? What in the hell? Did you smoke a joint?
Maybe. So
Well, why didn't you share?
basically, this movie takes place in 1962, I think. And Tommy Lee Jones is, I call him Tommy Lee because we're friends.
Right.
Oh, Mark. Ran out of patience a long time ago.
Weirdo.
So he works for the military and he does underground testing of nuclear missiles. He likes underground testing better than overground testing, open to the air, and it's called Project Blue Sky.
Yeah.
She has a mental health problem, and their marriage is strained because of it. And that's basically what the movie's about. I don't want to give anything else away. She won an Academy Award for Best Actress
Good for her.
for the movie at the Oscars that we just talked about. So it's got some pretty good performances. It's a decent film. It's decent.
You know what else came out this week though?
No,
Shawshank Redemption,
it did.
which is still in the theaters. So you now have choices.
Yep. Now you can either, curl up at home and watch Blockbuster and bone your girlfriend.
Or you could be classy and take her out to dinner and movie before you bone your girlfriend, Whatever.
Yeah, but this way I can call it Blockbuster and bone.
Right. So, yeah. We're not going to talk about it, though, because we already talked about it. So if you want to hear about Shawshank Redemption, listen to the tape.
Yeah, talk to the Shawshank Redemption tape. Actually talk to the physical tape and say, play!
Tell me your secrets.
But then if you want to decode what it says, put it in a tape player and then press play.
And you could play it in reverse and hear all kinds of weirdness.
Yeah, we plan that out.
Messages.
All right, Carol, take us home.
All right. So, say hey. Let us know
Hey!
what you want to hear. And write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Also, leave lockers.
Leave us lockers.
leave
Rip your locker off the wall and leave it in front of us.
us the stars on our lockers so we know you like it.
Go to the airport, pick up a star, drug them with
Or
chloroform.
Hollywood, New York, whatever.
Drug them with chloroform and leave them in our locker now.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.